Are you going to be fingered or eaten out for the rest of your life? You can only take one.
Okay, so this is what I don't get. It's a little bit TMI, at least at this point. I'm so sorry, but I just find it so. There was this one time Hailey Bieber, I believe, overstepped her own boundaries. And I want to use it today as a case study, not to call her out or shame her or any form of means like that, but more so for us to learn from. Because I think many of us, if not, to be honest, everybody, at some point do we end up in situations like this where we overstep our boundaries. We're doing things that don't fully feel like us or feel comfortable to us, but we do so because perhaps we want to please other people or we believe this is what I should be doing. This is expected of me. So we do it. So Hailey Bieber went on the Call Her Daddy podcast, and this was actually ages ago. This was end of last year. But I wanted to bring it up today because I think it's such a good example of how not to do it. And I'm going to dissect everything today and also give you a good example of why this was obvious not a good choice for Hailey. It was kind of odd. The entire podcast was primarily about Hailey's marriage to Justin and then also about Justin's ex, Selena Gomez, and how that has affected her and all the trolling and everything. And then all of a sudden, it just turns completely in another direction. But from going this really deep direction of talking about how difficult it has been with this Selena Gomez haters and Justin Bieber and all these rumors, then they start talking about sex, but almost in an awkward way.
I need to give the fans what they want, right?
Okay.
We need to just give them a little taste, right? Walk me through step by step your sex with Justin Bieber.
Oh my God.
Okay, this is what I don't understand. First of all, what do you mean by saying, now we need to give the fans what they want, and then the sex talk starts? Why is Hailey supposed to give the fans that? Why is she obliged to give that? I find that a little bit strange. And then I also find the transition incredibly odd from deep talk to now walk me through your sex life with your husband. Does that cross your boundary? Please let me know in the comments below, because I personally think that this is slightly awkward. And we can clearly see on Hailey that she does not really enjoy this question.
I was wondering, did anyone ever ask you about your sex life?
No, actually.
We're the first ones over here.
Exactly. Nobody's asking her about her sex life. So why are you asking her? And why, Hailey, did you agree on doing an interview where you were going to be asked this when it's so obvious that we can see that you are really not enjoying these kind of questions?
Favorite positions?
Thing.
Can you give us like 1 or 2 or 5?
It's always different.
Okay, yeah.
It's always something different.
It's so funny because you can see how she doesn't really want to answer the question. She's kind of trying to avoid it by saying, oh yeah, but it's always different. No, it's not like we are just like that. She does not want to talk about this. However, the host here is very persistent. She wants those explicit answers out of Hailey, and I feel actually quite sorry for Hailey in this moment.
It's so funny because I talk about this stuff, and the reason I get weird about talking about it is because I'm like, my parents are gonna listen to this. There's something that feels so cringe.
And also, it's funny how Hailey is kind of trying to joke it away in a way as well, which is a good strategy. Use humor if you want to divert a nosy person's questions.
Do you want to give us 1? And it can't be missionary.
It's definitely not missionary. I really like doggy style.
I'm so sorry, but I just find it so. The reason why I'm bringing her up here as a case study, it's fine to be an outspoken, open woman who shares freely about everything and anything. But the point of the Hailey example is actually for us to see. A typical example when a person might push you to get certain answers out of you, to push you towards acting in a way that is not natural for you or that you don't agree on or feel comfortable with. But I want to tell you that this is not uncommon. This happens all the time, and it can happen for any kind of circumstances. I feel there are certain things that are such non-negotiables for me to share, and sex life is one of those. But we're all different and we have different set of boundaries. But what do we do in a situation like this? What should Hailey have done instead? Well, first of all, who knows? Maybe she did have an agreement with the host about that they were gonna speak about sex. However, I don't think she wanted it, so I'm not sure why she signed up for it, which is kind of the twist where I find it a bit strange. But second of all, it is fine to say, this is something I wish not to talk about. There's nothing wrong with saying no. There is nothing wrong by just saying how it is. Listen, I don't appreciate that. I don't feel comfortable talking about this. And I think that in situations like this, when you, let's say, have a strong boundary that I don't want to talk about my sex life, or I don't feel comfortable talking about it, then stick to it. In this case, I almost feel like she felt probably pressured that because she really wanted to talk about this Justin and Selena Bieber thing, right? And she kind of felt that, okay, I'm not going to talk about this as much as I want and kind of get my story out there and get what I want out there. And now probably I have to give something in return to the host. She gave so much already in that interview. She did not have to give us more than that. She definitely did not have to open up the sex chapter. The interview was really interesting and she said many interesting things. So I'm quite surprised, even by the host actually, why she had to push it even further. I think the interview should have been kept just as is. Just, okay, talk about your Justin and Selena thing, right? It's more than enough for us to listen to and it's very interesting. We don't have to know that you prefer doggy style. It's a little bit TMI, at least at this point, or in this setup. Let me know in the comments below if you overstep your boundaries sometimes and how that makes you feel. In the coaching that I offer, I do help women with their boundaries and to stay high value and not have to go into situations like we spoke about today. If you want to find out more, go to annabay.com. But I do suggest that you watch my next video, which is actually something similar. But I'm giving a few cents on Georgina Rodriguez because she is actually also quite interesting character. So hop on over to that video because I will see you there.